Many people have their own opinions on vaccinations, and many people think that there are too many risks to get vaccinated. People need to realize that the benefits of vaccinations actually outweigh the risks. It is important for everyone to remember that vaccines prevent disease and illnesses that spread throughout families and schools, and without the vaccine, the illnesses are likely to continue to spread and could cause a huge outbreak. Not getting vaccinated is only causing many risks for oneself. Vaccines contain the same germs that cause disease. For example, a flu vaccine contains the flu virus. However, at this point, the germs have either been killed or weakened to the point that they don't make people sick. There are currently 4 types of vaccines that people can get today. These are the live attenuated vaccine, the inactivated killed vaccine, toxoid vaccine, and biosynthetic vaccine. When a child is vaccinated, the vaccine stimulates the child's immune system to produce antibodies, exactly like it would if the child were exposed to the disease. The child will develop immunity to that disease, but the child does not have to get sick first. This is what makes vaccines such powerful medicine. Unlike most medicines, which treat or cure diseases, vaccines prevent them. Vaccines tend to work really well. Obviously, no medicine is perfect, but most childhood vaccines produce immunity about 90% to 100% of the time. Actually, because of the success of immunizations, most parents have never seen a child with whooping cough, tetanus, polio, or meningitis, so they aren't aware of how serious these diseases can be. However, some people believe that vaccines do not work well. Some believe that infections and diseases will go away if people practice better hygiene and sanitation. But the germs that make people sick will still be around, and they will continue to make people sick as long as they are around. People should know that all vaccines are licensed by the Food and Drug Administration, and the vaccine must undergo testing to show that it works and that it is safe before the FDA can approve it. The number of cases of some diseases starts to drop once a vaccine is licensed. For example, a measles vaccine was licensed in 1962, and as you can see, that is when the number of cases started a rapid decline. Also, the year that the polio vaccine was licensed was the year that the number of cases started to drop. If the drop of disease was due to hygiene and sanitation, people would expect all disease to start going away at the same time. It is especially important for young adults to get vaccinated. The HPV vaccination is one of the most important vaccinations for young adults. This vaccine is now recommended for both boys and girls in the United States. Unfortunately, many adults remain unvaccinated and do not realize the risks they are causing for themselves. It was estimated that 13.2 per 100,000 women were diagnosed annually with HPV-associated cancers between 2004 and 2008. Since 2006, 2 HPV vaccines have been approved by the FDA that safely and effectively prevent infections with severe high-risk HPV strands. Young adults do not realize the risks they are causing for themselves by not receiving the HPV vaccination. The main benefit of getting vaccinations is protection of disease. There are 3 types of benefits to vaccination, and they are personal benefits, community benefits, and future benefits. The personal benefits of vaccinating children are that it will protect them from a ton of serious diseases. Vaccine-preventable diseases have been declining because of vaccines, and now many of them are at their all-time lows. Many people question, if the risk of disease is very low, isn't the benefit of vaccination also low? The answer is that the chance of children getting a vaccine-preventable disease is somewhat low. If parents choose not to vaccinate their children, they are accepting the small risk of their child getting a serious illness. Vaccinating is by far the safest bet. A recent study showed children who had not gotten DTaP vaccine were 23 times likely to get whooping cough than children who had received the vaccine. Also, 26 children have passed away from whooping cough in 2010. This number may not seem like many, but the number would not matter if your child were one of them. There are also many community benefits to vaccinating children. When fewer children in a community are immune to a disease, it is easier for a disease to spread from person to person and cause an outbreak. Parents should always remember that outbreaks of illnesses and diseases are occurring all over the U.S., especially among children. Parents are not only protecting their children when they are getting them vaccinated, they are also protecting the children in their community. Next, there are many future benefits of vaccinations. If people stop getting vaccinations, it would cause a big problem. Diseases that have been declining for years would come back, just like what has already happened in other countries. People cannot stop vaccinating, because even though disease rates are low, they are not zero. Even a few cases in a population could cause a major outbreak of a disease or illness. For example, one infected traveler from a country where polio has not been eliminated could set us back 50 years if our own population was not protected. Most parents feel like it is not very necessary to get their children vaccinated, which is their choice, but it can be very dangerous not to. They should remember that when they vaccinate their children, they are protecting their child, their family, and their schoolmates. It is now proven to people that vaccinations are very important. Vaccinations are the reason that many life-threatening illnesses are now rare. Anyone that is against vaccinations or worried about vaccinations risks should really consider doing in-depth research to learn that they are important.